Magnesium shines the light on what your body needs. What's it telling you? What's next on your journey? Before we head into the numerous things that can happen and how to take each one as the communication that it is from your body, I want you to remember this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing. I'm not prescribing. I'm sharing with you things that I've learned. You and I are just having a conversation. I'd love for you to show up in the comment section so we can talk back and forth. Healthy women have a strong filter, and they always filter information that they see on social media through what is best for them. The number one thing that is the most important to understand, in my opinion, with magnesium, when you're soaking in magnesium and something happens and you're like, wait, what a minute, what's happening here, is to remember it is shining the light on the pathway to customize your journey to you. And I know when I was so sick after that failed surgery, I wanted someone telling me, what do I do next? What does my body need? Not what is aunt whoever, bestie, whoever doing, but what does my body need? Magnesium does that for you because it is the master mineral. It doesn't heal everything in your body when you soak in magnesium, but it starts the healing everywhere when you soak in magnesium. So number one, if you are vitamin D deficient, you are low in magnesium. In my opinion, I wouldn't even waste the money on a test because 100% of the time, low vitamin D levels are low magnesium levels. You need your vitamin D to be activated from stored to active. That's what creates a strong immune. And to do that, soaking in magnesium starts the enzymatic process. It's an enzyme that needs to switch on. And so soaking in magnesium starts that process. And that's why I think sometimes we can buy into, oh my gosh, magnesium heals everything. And then you set yourself up for disappointment. It doesn't heal everything. It does start the process to healing everything. And if you're missing the spark plug of magnesium, you'll never reach that optimal health. So let's get started on what it could be telling you. And remember, you're in a relationship with your body. Think of it like your bestie, and it's giving you feedback. Are you listening? Because if I were to go to lunch with a dear friend and they quit listening or quit showing up for me, I'd eventually stop going. And a lot of us are stuck in that broken dynamic with our body. And so by listening to what magnesium is shining the light on, it starts the healing. It's exciting to me. It starts the healing in your body, and it starts to help you heal that relationship with your body. Because if you don't feel well, we have some mending to do in that relationship. So when you're soaking and you feel nothing, absolutely nothing, like, oh, I just bought this magnesium and nothing's happening, or I've soaked for 2 weeks and nothing's happening. I've done the quarter cup that lady on social media told me to do. I soaked for 20 to 45 minutes in a bathtub or a glass Pyrex-like container. I've been doing it consistently and I'm not feeling anything. First of all, this is my biggest heartache because those are the people who need magnesium the most. Couple things that it could be. Number one, taurine. Now, I have changed the taurine that I'm using because the taurine that I started getting different capsules in the same bottle. And that was a trigger for me to do some investigative work and testing. And so I've switched to a liquid taurine. And remember, taurine isn't something that you take all of the time because taking it consistently all of the time, it will eventually start to decrease your thyroid function. And we don't want that. The liquid taurine is so easily utilized by your body, and I'm really seeing the benefits to that. And when we add taurine, the reason that we're adding taurine is it helps magnesium stay in your cell. Excuse me, I have a cough. Oh, my mic's right by it. So I turned my head, but realized my mic's like right here, and I coughed right into it. Sorry about that. So taurine helps the cell hold magnesium. And if you've been under a lot of stress, if you've had, you know that you've had long-term high cortisol, and if you've been pushing magnesium out, so high cortisol pushing that magnesium out for a while, taurine is going to help you utilize the magnesium that your body is uptaking while you soak more efficiently. Here is down that pathway. I want to make sure you're aware of taurine. Number one, make sure it's appropriate for you. Run that by your board of directors who helps you with your health, whether that's a naturopath or a doctor, whomever that is. Run it by them. Make sure taurine's appropriate for you. Number two, taurine dosaging runs from typically starting at 500 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams. I always take the philosophy of low and slow. I want to start with the lowest amount, see how my body handles it, and see if I can get benefit from the lowest amount. Because one of my philosophies that I picked up after that health crash of sitting in a wheelchair, having seizures, like having my head held up with a little brace, not even aware of my family, I learned that when we go low and slow, it gives us the ability to determine the benefit that we're getting from the lowest dose. For years, yes, I had better help, but it was a full-time job. And that's all I did was focus on all the things that I had to do to get there and maintain that help, which was definitely better than being in that wheelchair. But that's not what I want to do. I want to hang out with my family and create and be in my garden and pick flowers and arrange them and paint and draw and work on my art book. Those are the things that I want to do. Be loving on my husband. And like right now, I don't know if you can tell, but taking some trips when you've got big stuff about to happen and you just need to get out of your situation a little bit. Those are the things that's why I'm creating help, to do those things. I don't want creating help to be a full-time job. And so I came up with the philosophy of minimum input for maximum benefit. And so going low and slow has helped me to do that. I want to do the minimum for the maximum. And if you started with 2,000 milligrams of taurine, you could tank your thyroid function and slow it down, and all of a sudden your energy would start going down because it would affect your T4 to T3 conversion. And remember, taurine is not something we take all the time. It's something that you use and then you back off of it. You use and then you back off of it. And you could Google foods rich in taurine if you're not wanting to supplement. Now, I haven't seen it pull people up as quickly once you're low in that taurine. I haven't seen that quick benefit like I do with supplementation, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm getting foods that are rich in taurine along with my supplementation. And if I'm feeling benefit at 500 milligrams, boom, I'm going to stay there. Now, personally, and this is just a personal thing, I've found no studies or anything like that on it. Personally, when I do taurine, I do it for a month, and then I'm done for a while. Right now, I'm experiencing a little bit of backslide on my health. which I haven't had happen for a very long time. So I'm back on taurine. Stress levels went really high with a couple business things, a couple personal things, a couple things in my family. And so I think my cortisol really spiked and put me backwards a little bit. So I am currently on taurine right now, and I'll stay on it for 30 days and then evaluate the benefit, how it's helping me, and determining, do I stay on that longer? I I have to admit, to go more than 30 days, I would have to have some pretty strong evidence, because I don't want to tank my thyroid function. Now, a lot of people will ask me, hey, Kristen, how do I tell if I'm tanking my thyroid function? Well, let me tell you what works for me, and then that way you can determine if that works for you. Did you know the most powerful feedback I have ever gotten for my thyroid is taking my early morning basal body temperature and taking it every day? And now, do I take it every day always? No. I usually will jump in and do 30 days and then back off for a while. But taking that basal body early morning before you're out of bed, the first movement, having the thermometer right by your bedside, slowly putting it in your mouth and holding it, is going to give you that basal body temperature, and that is going to help you determine where your thyroid function is. And if you see that start to drop as you're on taurine, boom, I would stop the taurine immediately, continue taking my basal body temperature, and then determine, is that going back up? And if it is, taurine's not a good fit currently. It could be later, but currently, right now, it's not the best fit for you. And so that's one of the first things when people are just not experiencing the benefits of magnesium. Now, here's something that I know. I know you're getting the benefit from it, but if you're not experiencing it and feeling it, then we've got to kick some things into place, because that's what keeps you connected to soaking, is you feel so much better, your sleep gets better. I would love to have you comment in the section below, what was the first benefit that you experienced from soaking in magnesium? Now, let's talk about another one, and that is you're soaking in magnesium again and just not seeing benefit from it. And you look at the person who recommended this magnesium from this mag lady that's been talking about it for 25 years, but I'm not experiencing any of that. It could be vagal nerve tone. If you've been under a lot of stress, and or you have high cortisol, and or you haven't been really listening to what your body needs, and it's under duress for an extended period of time, that will eventually start to make a difference with your vagal nerve tone. There are so many things. Pilates. Oh, people, I love Pilates. Now, you might be a yoga girl. That's great. Yoga also. I just found a Pilates instructor I love online. I know you're going to want to know Lindywell is where I do my Pilates. I just do it out of my home. This morning I got up, turned my computer on, and did it right in my hotel room. I love it. It's easy, it's fast, it's simple, and it's very doable for me. And so Pilates or yoga are a great way. Humming is another great way. This morning when I walked outside, because I actually wanted to be in front of this beautiful succulent I found that is like this big around, I thought, oh, that would be fun to do the live, but I didn't have enough internet out there to do it. And there were birds. Bird song helps regulate your vagal nerve tone, because your body instinctively knows if there's birds, there's safety, and you start to breathe a little bit deeper, a little bit slower, to really oxygenate those cells. Now, there's a quick little test that you can do about 2 inches out from the middle of your ear. there's a little divot in your jaw, and press in on that. It should not be tender. If it is, you might be stuck in fight or flight. And if you're stuck in fight or flight, you are going to be constantly draining magnesium. Another thing that I like to do is a little bit of tapping. That can help regulate my nervous system. It's a really good tool for me. I've used it for 25 years now and I love it. In fact, that might be a fun class to do on a live. I don't know, it might look goofy to people who have not used it before, but oh, it's so simple and so powerful. It's a tool my husband also uses to help manage his chronic pain that he experiences, because chronic pain drains your magnesium levels. And when you have chronic pain and you're draining your magnesium levels, is what happens is magnesium opens and closes the switch to the pain receptors. And if they're stuck open with too much calcium in your body is going to think it still has that level of pain because magnesium isn't there to turn the switch and close it down. And so if you are someone, chronic migraine sufferers especially, or any type of chronic pain in your body, you've got to make sure that that pain receptor is opening and closing as it needs to. And so making sure that you're doing things throughout the day that are comforting and soothing to you. My morning ritual, my evening routines, those help me to feel calm and they help put me into that rest and renew. Another one is my sauna. I love sitting in it. I have a salt sauna that has salt bricks inside of it that I got from, it's called Spiritual Quest. I've had more expensive saunas, and that was a more inexpensive sauna, and I absolutely love it, and it's as beneficial. And a sauna immediately puts you in rest and renew. Now, you might be thinking, dang, Kristen, I don't have a sauna, and they're very expensive. They're on the high end of tools to have. Guess what? I want to share with you another way to bring down your cortisol levels, regulate your nervous system, and it doesn't cost a penny. And that is the magnesium morning trifecta. You're soaking in magnesium sometime through the day, whether in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. You're walking in the early morning sunshine. That early morning sunshine, the first 2 hours of when the sun comes up, offers you red light therapy that every red light therapy tool is trying to imitate. It's the OG, the original red light therapy that is better than any red light therapy you can buy. Now, do I have red light? Yes, I do. But the sun is more powerful. I do like having tools in my tool belt, but don't forget the power of the early morning sun, soaking in magnesium and walking. I call it the magnesium morning trifecta. And that will do more to boost your health than any other things that I have seen for 25 years in the women that I've worked with. So that early morning trifecta. Now, sometimes people will think, oh, I have to soak in the morning too. No. Just fit the soaking in anytime during the day. The walking and the early morning sunshine are best when done within the first 2 hours of the sun coming up. You're setting, think of your cell. We're actually here in Monterey, California, and so we've been at the beach a lot. Think of your cell as the waves coming in and the waves going out. The sunrise helps the wave come in. The sunset helps the wave go out. And you're increasing the circadian rhythm at the cellular level when you're setting your day with morning light and evening light. So powerful. All of those things are tools that can help you regulate your nervous system. The more regulated your nervous system is, magnesium you have to soak in. And that's my goal. Not that you're soaking every single day of your life for the rest of forever, but you're learning how to maximize the time you do soak. So you're getting maximum benefit. I don't know about you, but my budget is tight right now. Cost of everything seems to be increasing. And so I want to really maximize my time that I'm spending with the magnesium soak to get optimal benefits from it. And the magnesium morning trifecta does that more than anything. And that early morning walk in the sunshine, you don't have to go buy it. You don't have to spend anything. You've got your magnesium, you've been using it. Let's just add that early morning walk in the sunshine. And I promise you, 100% across the board, you will get more benefit from your magnesium. Now, let's jump to those. Oh, first, let's go through a couple of comments. Oh, Mary, just finished my trifecta of sun and mag bath using your wonderful soak. Oh, Mary, I'm so glad. I haven't soaked. I only brought spray with me on this trip. So I'm spraying the bottom of my feet. And remember, spraying the bottom of your feet is not as effective as soaking. While I'm on vacation, though, it's better than nothing. And so that's what I opted to do. Let's see. Okay, first soaked over 2 years ago, didn't feel anything, then woke up the next morning and realized you'd slept through the night and your knees didn't hurt when you climbed the stairs. I love that because magnesium has been shown to decrease inflammation. Anytime we decrease inflammation in the body, we have less pain. Let's go to potassium. Let's jump on potassium. Let's say you soak in magnesium and you're not relaxed, exhausted, and you're just like, oh, I can't even function. I have found over the last 25 years of watching this happen with, sadly, more and more people, and the cure, the fix, is potassium. When that happens and you're deficient in magnesium, you soak in it, you've been deficient long enough that potassium is actually trying to hold the role for what it does and also for magnesium. And so, very oversimplified way of explaining it quickly is your body will drop the magnesium or drop the potassium it has to go pick up the magnesium because that's the master mineral for voltage. And so if you're low in potassium and not getting enough potassium from your food, and you're low in magnesium also, and that first time you soak, you're exhausted, like can't move your limbs, exhausted, can't show up to work the next day or life, exhausted. Adding a liquid potassium is going to be the most beneficial to reverse that quickly. Again, not a doctor, not diagnosing. You make the best decision for you if potassium's a good fit for you. Say, for example, you're on specific medications or you've got kidney, renal failure, then you've got to be really careful with your potassium and make sure it's appropriate for you. Drinking some coconut water. If you've been here before, you know that Harmless Harvest is my very favorite. Lately, it's been hard to get my hands on, and so I've used the Costco brand. I still like Harmless Harvest better, but I have used the Costco brand, or I've also used a teaspoon of cream of tartar mixed in water because that's a quick boost of potassium also. Remember though, with the cream of tartar, it's synthetic potassium, right? It's been processed a lot. It's synthetic. And it can give some people stomach upset. And how much cream of tartar you can take compared to what I can take could be very different. And so you need to play around with that. I know I can take 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar throughout the day, but in separate doses. If I go over that or combine the dose, my stomach can't handle it. And that might be different for you. Some people can't they only can take 1. Some people can take more. So you have to play around with that cream of tartar In my opinion, it's worth investing in that relationship to see what is the best fit for you, so that if you're needing a quick dose of potassium, and you can run to basically any grocery store and grab cream of tartar, and it will give you that quick benefit, and you'll know how much you need. And now, for example, I try to get in an avocado every day. Last night I got it from farmers market in Monterey, and it was an amazing avocado. I try to get one in every day. Avocado is so beneficial for your body, and it's loaded with potassium. But let's say I'm in a slump from soaking in magnesium, and I think, oh, I'll eat an avocado to build my potassium. It's not going to take you out of that low energy slump as fast as a liquid potassium is going to. And so while avocados are great and on my list of things to focus on for a daily food that is very beneficial for my body, your body has to digest it, and it takes longer to get that uptake. So a liquid potassium if you're exhausted, because magnesium will shine the light on where your potassium levels are at. I don't do blood work for potassium because it can change by how tight they did the tourniquet, or if they did do a tourniquet. So I just like to track in an app how much daily potassium that I'm getting. And remember, the higher your stress levels, you might need a little bit more than typical, because stress will also push that potassium out. Now, another one that can happen, and this one, and remember, I'm not a doctor, you and I are just talking. Remember, on this one, it can be scary, and you need to be interacting whomever you have put on your board of directors for your health. You need to be having a good conversation with them if this happens. I do see it happening in, I've been watching people for 25 years on magnesium, and it happened so rarely when I first started, and now I see it a lot more often. Remember, magnesium shines the light on what your body needs. You're soaking and you get heart palpitations, and that can be so scary. So far, 100% of the time, when that happens, it's high cortisol, low potassium, low thyroid function. And so adding some liquid potassium and actually backing off of the magnesium soak, just spraying it on the bottom of your feet, building your potassium levels, and then re-entering maybe a week or two later with soaking, but with less magnesium, to make sure that you don't put your heart back into heart palpitations, has been very beneficial. But always run that by your board of directors on your health, because that can be a really scary place to be. Like, oh my gosh, I'm soaking in this magnesium and I'm getting heart palpitations. So far, I've always seen that with high cortisol, low thyroid function, low magnesium, and low potassium. And so if you think you've got that going on, I would just build potassium before starting to soak in magnesium, because that's a scary place to be if you're getting those heart palpitations. The next thing that magnesium can shine the light on is if you are soaking. Now, wait, disclaimer here. I like a really soft heel. I don't like to scratch my sheets. I sleep on linen sheets. I love sleeping on linen sheets. We should do a whole conversation about sleeping on linen sheets and the benefit to sleeping on linen sheets. They're pricey, they're a little high maintenance, but oh, I love my linen sheets. I don't want to have scratchy heels on those sheets. And I like them to be really soft. And some people, when they start soaking in magnesium, their heels will get worse. They will start to crack and peel and get really rough. And that is shining the light on, for most people, that you're low in omega-3 fatty acids. Now, cold water salmon. Last night I had some fresh salmon. We're here on the coast, and it was locally caught, and it was wonderful. And adding Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids and supplementing for me is the best way to bring that fatty acid profile up. And so eating cold water fish like salmon and cod. And then I've switched my omegas in how I am supplementing with them, because the source I was using I couldn't get consistently, and omegas are one for me that are very beneficial and I take those consistently. And so I've switched to using fatty 15 and I'm really liking the benefit of that. I have to admit I was surprised. It's a little bit more processed, but I'm loving the benefit from adding that fatty 15 and getting those and building my omega-3 fatty acid. Now, if you've got some cod liver oil, I love droppy. We've got to be really careful with cod liver oils that the heavy metals are not high, because that actually breaks down your omega-3 fatty acid profile. If I do have droppy, if I have access to that, that's my favorite cod liver oil. And within 2 to 3 days, you can see a change in your heels and your skin. And so magnesium was shining the light on what your body specifically needed. Now, are you ready for one more? Do we have time for one more? Let me look. Okay, we're going to go really quick. One more that thing that magnesium can shine the light on, and that is you're soaking in magnesium. And I think of it like when we take my little fur baby to the ocean, he gets the zoomies. He loves the ocean. He was raised on the ocean. We lived right there in Morro Bay when he was a puppy, and he was there almost every day. And he totally gets the zoomies. You know how when you see a dog like run around like crazy and then just collapse, and then they rest for a little bit and run around again. And it's the cutest thing when he gets them. And it's similar to what can happen if your adrenals are shot. As you soak in magnesium and you get the zoomies, and then you crash, and then you get the zoomies and you crash. And so magnesium shining the light, and that happening in your body when you're soaking, if you're getting the zoomies, and it's not as cute as when my fur baby gets them and you're a little annoyed, like, oh my gosh, I don't like this elevated up and down. It's a little annoying. We need to support adrenals. Supporting adrenals, healthy fats, vitamin C, building our collagen, soaking in magnesium, getting our salt and potassium. Remember, adrenals thrive on voltage. You've got to have voltage for optimal adrenal function. Magnesium, salt, potassium. And so making sure that you're getting a good balance of that for your body every day will make it so the magnesium is energizing you, but it's not that crazy boost of energy that you crash. And so when that happens, it's really shining the light on your adrenals need some more love, and that relationship really needs to be built with building that relationship with your adrenals. Oh, Shelly just reminded me, for those of you that are on Instagram, I stream to numerous platforms at the same time just for efficiency. For those of you on Instagram, the link in bio is where all of the links. Shelly will put the links, and on most like YouTube and Facebook, the links will show up in the comments, but on Instagram, they don't. It's a little bit different to stream to Insta, but the links are on my bio page on Insta. So absolutely, thank you. So Janet was wanting the info on sauna. And if you were on Insta, that link didn't pop up. And so you can go to the bio section, and then that way you can see the link to that spiritual quest. And here's the thing. I don't want to say the brand that I had. I don't want to throw a brand under the bus. It was 6 times the price of what I paid for the spiritual quest. It's the one that a lot of quote influencers will talk about. But here's what I've found. A lot of times when influencers are describing something, it's because they get a massive commission. And one of the reasons that saunas are so expensive are so that influencers can make a mass amount of money off of their recommendation, which good for them. How I create money is incredibly important to me. And I know my family's been there. We lost everything because of my health crash financially. We lost our home. We were actually homeless. My husband made it seem like we were camping with the kids, but in reality, he had a super sick wife in and out of the hospital, and we lost everything. And so I am really conscientious if I talk about something that it's not because I'm getting a great kickback. Now I do get, I think it's like from 2 to 6% when you purchase on Amazon. And as what I do with that is I take that money that I earn every month from Amazon and I share it with women who not that they need a hand up, but they don't have the same opportunities that I've had. And her name's Beatrice, and she helps women and children and helps educate little girls. And so I share that with her because what that woman can do with 40, 60, $100 is 1,000 times more than what I can do with it. She's incredible. And so I take that quote, I don't even want to say it because I don't feel like I'm an influencer. I just want to share with you. I take that money that I get from the Amazon links and I share that with Beatrice. And I don't share things because there's a massive profit commission. I share things that work. And that spiritual quest is so much less money, the sauna, than the one I bought from the influencer that I now realize got an $1,800 commission when I bought that first sauna. And to me, it's been just as powerful as the more expensive sauna with such a reduced price. It's still expensive, don't get me wrong. It's still a couple $1,000s, but it's not up in that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,000. And to me, that's a total win. Now, I'm not affiliated with Spiritual Quest, but I did want to share my philosophies of when I do recommend things, on why I'm recommending that, and then what I do with the money if I do get an affiliate, they call it commission on that. Important to be transparent on that. And so it does, you can find those links, Janet. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, they're in the comment section. And if you're on Insta, it's on my link in the bio. Oh my gosh, it's been fabulous being with you today. Remember, magnesium does not heal everything. It does start the healing to everything. Those processes in your body, you can't drive a car without spark plugs. Your body doesn't get healthy without magnesium. It's where you start. It's the foundational piece to put into place to open the gateway to a strong immune and a body that has spark plugs that are starting the process of healing everywhere. And so many times when you get your voltage strong, so many symptoms go away that you don't even have to work on because you just have your voltage strong. And then you can see, okay, what's left now that all of these other things healed up with increasing my voltage, and now what's left that I need to really focus on once you're in the swing of getting that voltage daily to your body. So for me today, getting my voltage is going to look like, because I'm on the road traveling with my husband, I'm headed into a podcast. I want to share with you some things last night that he was sharing with me about organics and CCOF and permaculture. And to me, it was a fascinating conversation. And I said to him, you have to be on a podcast interview that you can share this with other people. And so I'm headed, even though we're traveling, right after this, I'll go do that podcast with him and get that out, because I thought it was really interesting, but I'd love to hear from you if it's really interesting with his background in agriculture and gardening and farming and the things that he's learned and the education that he's acquired over his life. So My getting voltage for me on my trip today will be a pre-packaged electrolyte mix. I'll get 2 to 3 of those in, probably only 2, and spraying magnesium on the bottom of my feet. And then I think yesterday I did 6 miles, 6 or 7 miles, and my one knee's acting up just a little bit. And so I'll be putting some muscle cream on that. And that will be my voltage, some salt in my water when I drink, my electrolytes, making sure I'm getting some really good potassium rich foods from the farmers market again today. The one that we're at here is a daily farmers market, so we'll get to go every single day and grab our food from the farmers market. And so making sure that along with my electrolyte drink, I'm getting really good foods and salt, spraying magnesium, using a little bit of muscle cream. And while I'm on the road, that's a good fit for me to get that voltage in to maintain optimal healing in my body. Post in the comments below, what's your takeaway from today? What's that thing that you learned of things that we've talked about that you can put into action in your own life? I can't wait to read the comments. And I've got a couple of ideas that I want to share with those that leave a comment, because my goal is to create community. The very comment that you leave could be the springboard for someone else. And so on my lives, I just would love to build this thriving community of women that are sharing and helping each other and learning from the women who do share. And so I'd love to know what helped you the most. Have the best day. And don't forget, soak in magnesium. It's where healthy starts. Bye.